Welcome back to Patman Garage. So this looks way more complicated than it really is. Forget the battery charger, although if you have a drain you may want to put a battery charger on your truck. So this is just basically just a mechanical kill switch to disconnect the battery cables. If you have a threaded connection, you can do the same thing. So to be able to do a amp draw test, you need to be able to have all of the power for the truck running through your meter. So what I do is set up my test lead here, and this allows me to disconnect the battery cable and then have all the power running through my meter. So these two little leads here basically just connect to my meter, no big deal there. And then so I turn my amp meter or my multimeter to amps. So I currently have amperage and I have it on the 20 amp setting. So I have no power running through it right now because my battery is still connected. So I'm gonna disconnect the battery. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Okay, battery is disconnected, and I have 0.005 amps, which is correct reading. So if you have anything significantly more than that as a steady amperage, you have a draw on the truck. Before I did the radio relay modification, I had about 0.2 amps, so 0.2, so about somewhere around 500 times more power pulling than it should have been. My battery was draining in about half a day to a day, enough that the truck wouldn't start. So if you're doing anything, so you know, I basically had my high amperage reading, and then I went and pulled out that fuse, and then I watched my amperage reading drop off pretty quick, like basically instantly. So if you're trying to do this on and off, what you need to do is anytime you're making a move, you always want to have at least one connection done. So if I put my battery back on, okay, battery's turned on. Now I have no power to my amp reading. So just for comparison here, I'm going to turn the battery off. I have my meter off. So battery's off, and battery back on. And now I'll turn my meter back on. Okay, battery comes off, and I'm still in a dormant state. So what I'll do real quick. Alright, so what I did is I woke the truck up, and just so you can see what that looks like, and I'm going to pull the battery back out. Okay, battery's disconnected, and wow, now I have 3 amps of power pulling through the meter. So that's with the dome lights turned on. Dome lights just turned off, so now I'm down to about 0.2 of an amp. And for this particular truck, it takes 30 minutes for the truck to go to sleep. Most cars are between 20 and 30 minutes. So if you that's the whole reason of having this battery disconnect on it, is if I were to just disconnect the battery and try to connect my meter to the cables, then I wake the truck up and I go put it back to, I can't go back to sleep. I can't leave my meter on that long. It usually turns off after about 3 or 4 minutes. So you need to have a setup like this, or at least some way to disconnect the battery cables, but at the same time still keep your meter set up. So if you had one of those twist removable battery cables, you would just need to make sure that you have your little test lead connects on the battery post side and then on the cable side. I go to the ground. That way I don't have to worry about all this stuff shorting out, laying out. If it was all hot wires, if this was a hot wire, I'd have to worry about it running into something metal. Same thing with all that. So It doesn't matter for actual amperage reading which side it's on, but just kind of wanted to show you my strategy, how I do this. So that's all. Good luck. Happy hunting.